What's up, you guys? So it's another Mango Talk episode. All right, this is like real low key because we were supposed to do it the other day, y'all, but Mercury retrograde's a bitch, so that's why we're not available. Also, it's the start of Taurus season, so I'm gonna let Moss. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself and allow the people get comfortable with who you are, as we're getting comfortable with the vibes of the Taurus energies as well, because Aries season was fucking crazy. I don't know how you feel about it, but let me know.
um, I feel amazing about it. Last Aries season, I was pretty much just still like trying to figure it out. So I'm just like reacting to everyone else's Aries season, but this season has been special, just participation wise.
um, so yeah, going back to what I was saying before, tell them like about what I have a question about. Well,
Yeah,
I'll remix it because we kind of
let's
had to
start there. I love it. I love it.
bring it back and go forward.
You already know Aquarius game.
You know what I'm saying? So, what is why is your name Moss? Why is the name Moss? Like I did my own research, but I was like, let me let him fill us in.
Okay, so I go by the name Moss because for a long time we're still on doing the internet thing. So it's like everyone's seeing themselves as a teacher. So it's taking it back to the place of the student and just participating in your lane. So I came up with moss because I was looking at moss and I was like, I really enjoyed looking at it. It's very green and lush, and you see it on as part of tree foundations and roots, and you just see it all over in the deep mystical areas. And so I just looked at the definition of the energy signature, and it just reminded me of myself. Just it can grow in the most of unsustainable of places. It doesn't have any roots tied down, but that doesn't keep it from just floating away whenever it feels like in the forest. And it's just real. Um, it's like real low key. You know what I'm saying? Like the cleaners of the environment just by being there on the ground base level and things of that nature. So just really no planet roots and just being able to be malleable and
Yeah,
firm enough, what I'm saying, for you could be on that uh polarity with the solid and the structure and then the receiving and receptivity, and those two things coming together is just like nurturing and the energy for me.
wow, yeah. I definitely feel like that's your vibe. It's like low key, but you're there at the same time, participating. Like, and I kind of see Moss like that. Like, it's helping the environment. The
Yeah, mama.
they got messages. They got to talk. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's like the moss is like you don't realize how much it's actually benefiting the ecosystem or like helping things flow. Kind of what we were talking about with the cleaners. So, I definitely feel like you have that type of vibe where, from what I'm just seeing outside looking in, where people may not automatically see it like moss, but they understand the value over time. It's like you got to grow. It grows on you. It's like, oh shit, I didn't know I needed to know that, or I didn't know how necessary um, this vibe was, this energy. So I feel like the vibe you created or what you're going on, it is very valuable and it's very low key. And I appreciate that. I'm grateful that you're on. You didn't have to be here. You could have been like doing anything else. So let's go a little bit more deeper um, with this. So going back to the title, so the title's talking about like y'all. The topic is pretty much being the example, and it's kind of funny how it's just talking about like your name and like how you already are that. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, but sorry, I'm trying to stay focused.
Yes,
But
mom.
um, I was gonna ask like, what are some ways? Um, I mean, one of them. I mean, I don't know for you, but what are some ways that you feel like you've been? It may have been hard. It may have been tough for you to like. I don't even want to say like Yeah, you know, you could have been in the opposite Taurus energy. Like you could have been like that's not going to get us um like, and it could be in regards to anything like the work that you do. But I'll let you answer, or just it could go anywhere at this point.
Okay. And could you? It was choppy towards the end. Could you repeat?
Oh
Right
yeah.
before the opposite side of.
Oh, like basically, like it don't matter, like where you saw yourself, where have you seen yourself, like be more of like that consistent Taurus energy and like be the example, even when like maybe certain things within yourself wanted to go against the grain or wanted to not like necessarily be the bigger person or show what everybody needs to be like kind of doing in real
Mhm.
time. Like have you had experiences and you like maybe help somebody or share an experience that can help someone like show up when it kind of seems like nobody is, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's actually what my point was lately of no one showing up between um bridging the gap as far as when, spirituality was popping, when we was all on Clubhouse, we
Yeah.
was all over sharing each other's stuff, and Saturn kind of came in there and kind of slowed that up a bit. So I have more intimate relationship with that because I have Saturn in the seventh house in
Mm.
Pisces. So that was always like my thing with having structure towards delusions and relationships. So seeing that on social media, and my 11th house was kind of that thing. And I feel like it's definitely or infinitely more um, prominent to me now because of the people that I leaned on, saying seeing the shadow government and the magic square. So just the algorithm and certain niches die down, or the audiences in amongst with all the rumors of TikTok and all the social media competition is thinning
Yeah.
out the crowd now, whereas before, everyone go from one place, but everyone's venturing out, being a teacher, looking for their own space in their own lane. So it's thinning out the melting pot a
Exactly.
little bit. So like even some of our, us being having to thin out and see other places as well. It's like I have the sun debilitated in the 11th house, so I'm always like gathering that inspiration from others, what I'm saying, as motivation for my Aquarius moon. Like, nah, I'm gonna repel against, what I'm saying, the sun being dead here, because it's still that relationship between my Aquarius moon, the positive Saturn. So, it's like, nah, sun, we're gonna keep shining regardless, and we're gonna push this through. So that was more of a need, and that's
Yeah.
what was putting it out there in social media, and just how I see myself just getting the pieces back together, but still it's like necessary not to run the well dry. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
gotta take your time to yourself and be a recluse, and you still like showing love by commenting, and letting people know
Right.
you're receiving the inspiration and that you're sharing and seeing their stuff. And even if what I'm saying, it's still gonna be manifested, because if like I see more of solar on TikTok, solar systems on TikTok, than I do on Instagram. And I know it's because he's more consistent and focusing, but I see it more in that algorithm than the Instagram algorithm, just based off how algorithms work and things of that nature. So it's like that's where I see like leaving the breadcrumbs, what I'm saying, for people to get the pieces, the big picture, what I'm saying. Especially
Right.
going back to what you were saying with the experiences. Yeah, hell yeah, I've been in that experience. Like I got Jupiter in the Uranus in my ninth house of travel, and Jupiter in its lower octave depositor. So it's like I'm going through experiences that are more higher octave. No, Jupiter is in Sagittarius. Okay, it's, I have Jupiter in fourth house of consulted there, but I have Jupiter at home in the ninth house of Sagittarius. So it's like, yeah, what I'm saying, one to expand out of that, but also
Right.
everything has a gift and a curse. So
Right.
it's like it's in Taurus right now. So that's like a in conjunction and a misalignment. You know what I'm saying? I like to see it as um, Taurus being expansive within its own right and already having stuff established, and then Sagittarius is going out and establishing things, utilizing other people's materials or material goods that they might not see as much of the value in.
Right.
And it's kind of like I said, it's looking at people as a crutch on social media, going back to that point, or I mean, going forward in this present moment,
Going
but going
forward.
forward to that, yeah,
Yeah.
it's that I have it in the South. I have Taurus in the South node too, and it's in my NC, so I'm already familiar with that energy. So kind of a lot of this energy is like I'm
Oh,
more, I'm more, yeah, played out on that, and
yeah.
so that I'm looking more for the value of people that are revolutionizing or are coming back with that originality. I could be inspired and it's by someone being original that's a starter up, you know what I'm saying, YouTube
Right.
short, and while still it's bringing that actual conviction to the things that have value in. So that around the Taurus and the
I,
travel
I
stuff.
Yeah, I feel you. It's like a lot of stuff that as a collective we're integrating, and like you were talking about, like all these different crowds, everybody's finding their lane, everybody's finding their group, but it's like you're still remaining the individual, even though a lot of this energy playing out could be like past life shit for you. It's like you're really ahead of your time. Um, uh, and I just dropped a reading about that the other day. That's actually crazy for a divine masculine. So um, I think that's kind of wild and like extraordinary because it's like you're seeing what's going on in real time, but at the same time, like a lot of us are having to apply ourselves, and I think that can be hard if you're not if if you're not like grounded with who you are, like yourself, or you don't take time to know yourself,
Hmm.
because it's like shit is starting to get so oversaturated. It's kind of like even our conversation right now, like a lot of people, what we're saying may just kind of fly over their heads because that's literally like a reflection of what is going on in real time. Like everybody's kind of breaking the curves. Everybody's freeing up themselves from like these different generational like weird ways we've been naturally programmed to just like showing up and like finding their own footing and finding their own style,
Hmm.
finding astrology and shit like that, like about solar systems. Like I see him more on IG. That's been my target. TikTok kind of just randomly took me off there. I can't log in all of a sudden, so I haven't
Yeah,
posted nothing on there.
yeah, do that
But
to me. Mhm.
I think it's interesting how like everybody's kind of being the example, and I've been seeing you do exactly that. Like, um, kind of like um it's hard because so many people like I was just telling somebody this other day. I was like, do you feel like things are going like more old school where like everybody was at one point kind of faking the funk or faking it till they make it, and now it seems like people don't want to live a lie. People want the real shit. They want to go through like the everyday experiences with you. Like that's the people who are making the biggest example or the biggest mark is like those that are like letting you in on their process, as crazy and weird as it may be. Um, as crazy and weird as it may be, it's like it's the organic or it's the natural shit. Like you talking about like moss that is it's like necessary. It's like that's what is really that's like the most potent. It's like a cure right now. It's like that's what people are really looking for. Like, but they don't even know what they're looking for
Hmm.
until they like start to go through those layers. So it's like it's almost like it's a crowd for everybody. So even if you feel somebody's doing this and they're being this example, it's like I guess the message is for y'all if you're watching, look outside looking into this conversation and it seems fucking batshit crazy. There is a place for you to be the example. The same way you found Mango Talk, okay, and you're gonna go to Moss's page later on, okay, Etheric Moss, or my page later on. Like there's like a lane for everyone. So just don't feel overwhelmed by the different ways you see going on out here, because if you just honor what you have going on, you can truly be like a part of the waves that are being created. Um, so I feel what you were trying to say. It's like a little hard, but um, that might be like some cancer. I'm ready for cancer season, to be honest. I
Really?
don't know. Yeah,
Mars is supposed to be in there, so
yeah.
supposed to get.
My Mars and Venus is in Cancer, so I just be like, I'm hella like.
That's why. Yeah. Right, well,
I try to be like, what I'm doing,
yeah.
yeah. Um. So yeah. So yeah. I know that was like a big loop de loop. We just kind of took y'all around in, But if you're following us, then you get it. And I think that's a big thing too. Like a lot of people are trying to be followers, but I respect the work you do because honestly, you are truly being an individual and leading people, even if you don't. Um, because sometimes, like I think you got some people, and this is no shade to other people, but like you got some people like solar systems where like they can get in and their strategy works for them. Like the algorithm might work for what they have going on. But others of us, if y'all are struggling with like finding your footing in the world, like you gotta realize like it might be the opposite way around where the world kind of need to catch up to you. You know what I'm saying? And it's not to say you gotta slow down, but I just want to make sure I give like credit to you, bro. Like you ahead. Like sometimes people and I know that for myself as well. People see our content or see our work, and it don't automatically click. But that don't mean don't post, you guys. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean don't put yourself out there just because you feel like, well, damn.
I'm giving you like to
What you gonna say?
Oh, so
Uh,
Keith in the background, I said you're gonna have your light too, because I remember you invited all of us that one time. I was like, oh, it's gonna be all
I
of us.
mean,
You
y'all
know what I'm
can get
saying?
in there. Yeah,
You
that's
can
why
get in
I
there.
invited
She
the
can
whole
get in there.
yeah.
Yeah, she can get in there towards the end there.
Okay, cool. I was like, where the goddess at? You know what I'm saying? Where your divine feminine at? Hey, um, yeah, because that'll be cool energies. People too want to see that. Like, I think that's inspiring to watch because I think in this day and age, a lot of people. That's another thing too, bro. Like being a healthy example of like being in a divine union. That shit is rare right now. A lot of people are in like these false unions where like they're doing it for the ground. But it's funny how it's like it's almost like when we were watching the YouTube channels back in the day, and like you could kind of see the authenticity and like who was really like together and they was going through shit, but then they was posting about it. It's like I see that in y'all, and it's a rare couple other few unions out there. But you know, that's another part of like being an example. It's like sometimes you gotta realize like you're not just being when we say being an example, it's not just for you. You know what I'm saying? It's for
Yeah,
everybody around you. And you also got kids, so I know what you um I know like from just looking outside of it, because I'm pushing myself into a union soon one day. Lord have mercy. It comes with a lot of responsibility. And I'm like, how do you manage that? Like what is some advice you could also give to or even experience or story you could tell us about um kind of like where you had to be it's like the first question, but now like for your own family or for your own just people in your circle or your square, like your world, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Or
So
online community. You never what I'm trying to say.
yeah. Definitely gonna ground this back down for the audience as well.
Yeah, they probably
Uh,
like, what the hell? So whatever.
yeah. So to answer a question, my other half Emily right here, she's in here being disgruntled, being Leo. Think she gonna burn everything down when she talks about the truth. But more people are looking for that truth, and that's that truth that um, was in conviction with me as far as doing that. What I'm doing online for our family and things of that nature was the conviction because um,
Right.
any people that are watching are religious and are interested or new age. My other half, she has the moon in or ascendant, one of the two, in 28 degrees of Archangel Raphael or Regulus. So that very at the top, judgment and
Yeah.
righteous, judgment going all the way through is what was putting the divine masculine on his toes. As far as like when I started inverting astrology, I was realizing that,
You
you
speaking
know,
facts. Go in, bro. Go in.
yeah, cause you, cause
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
know, when I
Yeah.
learned about astrology, a lot of people like to look at like newspaper astrology, right? And I was one of those
Mhm.
people with newspaper astrology, and then learning more about the houses. I say it was the houses for me, and it was the debilitations and the exaltations of actually learning the planets as well and their characteristics of their own, right? That you invert it, and I was like, wait a minute, the sun doesn't go into the what I'm saying 11th house so easily. So whereas everything that is going on, you're like forcing that energy externalized as far as being an online
Yeah.
version versus realizing I was like, wait a minute, instead of associating online and social media for my family because I have Venus and Cancer in the 11th house as well, in the Sun. uh, I can be I can be associated by being known for my family. I was like, wow. And I told my other half, and she was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" Of course, nigga, like you being fake on the line. I was like, "That's so crazy." And so there's a whole
Nothing wrong
thing
with it,
because
bro. We gotta be ourselves sometimes. It
yeah,
sucks.
gotta be
Yeah.
yourself for real. That's what we're online to do for be the example for because she was letting me know about the other half of divine masculine where we see a lot of men preaching and they get their knowledge from the women folks and it makes it more authentic, especially when you see people say I have this knowledge, and you ask them where they came from. They say, "Oh, I was online," and
It's
even
like a it's
even in saying that it came from nothing from the feminine realm, you're still saying that something. You're like, oh yeah, I had this inspiration. No, you were just in the nothingness, in the womb, in
yeah.
the sacred feminine, and then you were. I don't know how to explain that. You just be lost.
No, you saying it,
You can't receive.
you
You
talking
can't.
like
If
that.
what's around you is receiving, how you gonna receive? No, you the one that's
Right.
standing out, and that's the responsibility that you gotta take. And that's
Yeah.
where I was just like, it was real karmic dealing with this the Taurus energy because like you saw everyone I lived in Hawaii. I traveled there once I got out, finished my service in the military of being in the Army and the Marines. So I was running away from a small town. So we went to Hawaii. Then that didn't work. Moved fast. Long story, long story short, pursuing the Taurus desires from the South Node because there's only my South Node's 2 degrees in Taurus, so that's the early cusp energies of what we're going through right now, where everyone's
Yeah.
needing to slow down, but you're still going fast in Aries energy, but for
You
something
gotta
that you're securing. So we're just bouncing around being a nomad, and that didn't
yeah.
work out. And that's where we realized, like, okay, is this a hobby? Is this for play, or are we actually gonna influence and change people's lives? But while you still have that dream, you're gonna enact the business mindset. You're gonna shake hands with the devils. You're gonna break through the matrix and really use it as
Right.
like a small business, but
Right.
for yourself and for how you're seeing it, not expecting any um,
External.
particular like
Yeah.
handouts or publicity from, oh, you're doing that online, oh, you're crazy,
Right.
versus,
Right. Right.
oh, you're online, you're not doing this enough from your fans. No, you
You're doing it
bang,
for
you're doing it for
you.
you and
Like your yeah.
yeah, and
Your
you're
you.
accessing and gaining as you're moving through with meeting like-minded individuals that are doing the same thing or have been doing the same thing or having interest in doing the same things or are gifted in everything. So that's how I inverted that to want to be a better example when you
Yeah.
also learn that there's a community out there for everything and it's not necessarily on you to create the community around you. A lot of times it's you have to
Exactly.
be open enough for the community to register you and for you to attract to that versus attracting to yourself and not
And
all the time meeting in the middle.
right.
So
I
it's
love
like,
that.
yeah, infinite expansion, just jumping in different areas. More you learn about, being down to earth too. That was
Yeah.
really one thing. Being human, as Dolo Archangel Uriel talked about being, saying humans. If you know his takes on that. So it's like still something
Right.
pretty from my
Facts.
contrasting perspective to embrace. Like he was just talking about with the INFJs and all the personality tests, like how it's
Hmm.
difficult for someone that's already being human to look, oh, now I gotta be more version of human, but still, unique. So just yeah, being human, just knowing that nothing's gonna be perfect at all.
Yeah.
It's all imperfect, and you're not gonna shoot to the stars and be, celebrity style fame overnight for going
Right.
viral, especially in
Like
our line of business.
you have to let your in part of being the example, you have to let people bear witness to that through their own travels and then
Yeah,
they'll see the example that you're being. Even if you're not trying, eventually it just becomes like it's a part of your nature. Um I think that's a beautiful we could just kind of pin that because you said so many facts in like one thing.
synchronous.
And I really feel like you're even just from this experience, we may be saying this stuff right now, but just imagine in the future when it's like oh, when it's like thousands of people, 100,000 is what I just heard in my head. People watching this video in the future, and they're just gonna be thinking like, damn, like we may be thinking we talking crazy, but we're being an example in a way that we don't even realize where we are being in this moment. It may not even be anything like what we're as a collective, as a community doing, but it's important for us to keep showing up no matter how weird or abstract it comes across, because within these different worlds there is like a your people is out there type shit. I thought it was cute that your baby was like giving their own messages, because I felt like a Leo energy going off.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about too, like, or ask you about like because we just traveled through so many different spaces. Um, how was it like being an example, being yourself in like the military and stuff like that? Because that's like a whole different kind of world than the real world we live in. Like how have you integrated some of that in your everyday reality? And like, I don't know, is there some tips you can give
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Your first question, it was hard. Um,
us?
Fortunately, it was like on my last year of service, so it felt like
Yeah.
a million years, but it was only like the first year. I was always myself before. It just wasn't in the spectrum of the having that awareness or knowledge of spirituality and being a spiritual soul and individual. So
So
it
you
came
just dived
across,
into that shit.
yeah, it came across as being like young and
Green.
rebellious, but not like really rebellious. There's more like a naivety of bringing
Yeah.
just the energy that I have of just being,
It's
what?
like a bull card shit.
Yeah, it's like you want me to sit down at a desk and actually work. I thought we
Ah,
I thought we was fighting and we was it was motivated and killing. So I'm in there with that motivation of, you know what I'm saying, shouting out the chance, being motivated
right.
every day. But I was like, this work really wasn't for me. But it's like that Gollum, that character that Uriel talks about so much that you won't even, people won't really see you, but they'll see the Gollum that's in front of you protecting. So it's that motivated Gollum that made people like not have like sympathy or
Yeah.
like try to, they love your motivation, but they try to like kind of like adopt you. Like those is like having the heart of a child and makes people want to take care of you in a sense because you think you don't know, but you do know, but you still got that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't just gonna baby me type energy. But yeah, towards the end of the service, it's really just I kept running to individuals like that too. Like they would be like higher ranking and they'd be
Mhm.
talking like real heavy spiritual stuff. And I'm like, you sound like you shouldn't be in. And
Uh,
like some of the times they'd be like, oh, I'm working on getting out. Mostly that type of style. But it
yeah.
was really structured as far as I was trying to think of what aspect astrologically it was.
Because
Well,
I was thinking too,
it
like
was
the.
really built on the
Oh,
restriction. I'm gonna
okay,
say
okay.
because of my associations. Because during that time, I had no idea Saturn was still in Aquarius.
Wow.
So Saturn was conjuncting my whole moon sign,
Mhm.
my whole emotion, my whole me. You know what I'm saying? That
Mhm.
representation of that first creation of me. So that's why I
Yeah.
felt like a tug of war. Like I want to be a part of something where it's like got great resources
Yeah.
because I knew the world was like scary. So I was like using it as a crutch, but it's like you still get this is what comes with it. You know what I'm saying? And so it's
Right.
like I'm tired of just taking the training wheels off. You know what I'm saying? As far as having that business mind and like knowing you already did something because you don't like it. So it's like that MC that I mentioned and Taurus in the South Node. So having that high authority or hierophant spirituality of the system. And so yeah, that was really like I knew I didn't like it, but I couldn't like
You feel like that helped you,
yeah,
like
yeah,
build
it's
your
real
own
cushioning.
spiritual, like consistency, or like even mentally.
Yeah, like real cozy. Yeah, it definitely I say prepared me for the
Ah,
spiritual warfare and coming out of that. And even just like I had it. It just left me somewhere else.
Right, right, right.
But yeah,
Um,
there it is. It came back because it sharpened the mentality of, because I'm a life path 8. So
okay.
that deals with militancy, and that was great for me. Oh, there it is. That was great for me. So it's talking about like if you're able to go through like a boot camp and have like be mentally already like stripped to nothing, and then rebuild that. Once you get into spirituality, it really helps the awareness of how there are infinite amounts of mentalities that you can jump
Jump
from
into.
and
Yeah.
shed, because essentially it's a accumulation of your environment and your biases and your triggers. So then you start learning more about psychology, and that's where being triggered comes from. But
Right.
you got to that psychological part through the spiritual aspect of
Right. I,
the mental aspect, right?
I
Your flow
um
first.
no, no, keep going, my bad. I had
Well,
something
like a first
like
astral travel, I was just going to end with that. As far as open to dimensions, not just something that you see outside of yourself or you imagine,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Well said. I don't think I would have been able to like I felt like you were going to say that or something in that lines, like that definitely prepared you. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to hear it from like the horse's mouth, like from the source, because I'm like, sometimes we can project our own understanding of how we may see a situation, but to like be the person who's actually going through that, it's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful for you just giving that knowledge, because I know you dropped some gems that shit somebody might be listening right now and it's like World War III in their life, and on the spiritual level, and it's like you're gonna get through that, and that's why you here to be that example to kind of show them like that shit ain't nothing. Their everyday trials or battles or like whatever they going through and
Like,
shit like that. What y'all doing?
you put a knife over her throat.
uh, so
Oh,
um, damn, there was a point I had too on top of that. Um, yeah, you were talking about the structure and stuff like that. I do think that's like, damn, I'm sorry, I lost my point, but it's all good. It is what it is. That was a lot in one. Do you guys is there anything you wanted to talk about or that you've been seeing going on in terms of the topic or the theme of this live that you just wanted to like address or make clear? And then maybe my point might come back or something like that.
yeah, I believe so. So the theme again was the example. Oh, I said an example during
Like,
this.
yeah, is there like something you can relate? Sometimes I forget it too. I'll be like, I always come with the topic like right then and there. Um, I think I was gonna bring up something about life path numbers or something, because I know I'm a life path 9, but I didn't. I don't know what I was trying to say, but yeah. So the topic is breaking the generational cycles and blockages through expression while being the example. So I was saying, do you have anything that just before coming to this live, since I don't like do any questions, I just
Yeah,
let it flow.
yes,
I get the topic like sometimes like the day. I honestly I don't even think about it until we just like right before I'm texting like the individual like, hey, we finna interview a day or two. I'll get the topic or something and write everything out. But is there anything that you traveled through as we talking about astral travel, or you kind of bared witness to in your own journey here, where you was like, oh, this is kind of tapping into the world of what we talking about right now today?
Mm, as far as what it
Like,
has.
you just want to or maybe curious, you want to curiously like talk about like that.
Yeah, I've been speaking on lately I've been making I have ascendant signs for Mars and Venus. We got a lot of Mars and Venus aspecting each other, and so since it's Taurus season, I guess I reiterated again while we have more of the audience. Being the example of like you started with Jupiter and Uranus and Taurus, now the sun being there, so we're gonna be seeing a lot more of um not just going through the experiences or going through the evolution, but the attention that's being received and the action and energy that's being charged up. And so jumping across concepts before that, the house you have Sagittarius, I mean not Sagittarius, but Scorpio in, That's going to be your deep transformations or your power and control issues that manifest in what we're looking at as far as the sun, Jupiter, and Uranus and Taurus, because those objects, Taurus adds the value, but those objects, everything accumulates with energy and mentalities spiraling and willing themselves over time. So, a lot of the objects that Taurus might value, it manifests from a subconscious standpoint, from a Scorpio's transformative standpoint. So, looking at the house you have Scorpio, and that will manifest through the external portion of. Oh, it's interesting how it. I started with the night octave and the um, day octave of Taurus, and then I'm ending with the daytime version of the Mars and Venus, because Taurus is going to go through. Yeah, Taurus is going to go through your Libra South Nodes. That's where you're going to be comfortable with the experiences and the originality of what you manifested or added value to based off of your subconscious desires, contrary to value in Scorpio. And then you still got to get out of that comfort zone. Even
Right.
though it's holding you up. Yeah, but that doesn't mean you're supposed to lean back into it, because then you won't take that first step of the daytime Martian North Node of Aries.
Aries.
So
Yep.
yeah, see a step, because you're leaning back, you got a different perspective too. So you might be just a degree off where you see, oh, Chiron, this mistake, what I'm saying, that can make, and people will be seeing that and moving forward. So there was that energy as far as being the example, and paying attention to your mental health. You know what I'm saying? That's why I want to get into. You know what I'm saying? Because a
That's
lot of
good.
people, yeah, a lot of people were conflating. I don't know if that's the word, but
Right.
separating like, um, you're not. You know what I'm saying? You're not all the way spiritual. You have mental illness, and then on the other side, if you take this medication, then you're not spiritual and things of that nature. Like chemical and biological imbalances in the brain
Right.
are a form of generational curses, because it's generational, just like diabetes and high blood pressure. But because you have high blood pressure, that doesn't mean like spiritually you're in the wrong vessel. You're taking care of
Hmm.
that vessel as best as you can. It's just certain things aren't for you, and that's training your mentality to have a more disciplined mind down here, knowing that you made the same mistakes maybe several lifetimes, but now it's going to
Right.
be one nudge for you, like, oh, you can't take that meat, so you won't have that desire. You know what I'm saying? Because right now I'm going through a what's it, the munchies, but it's Virgo. So like being like, am I emotionally eating, or am I depressed eating, or am I doing this and this and that? Because for me it's a matter of self control. My Aquarius moon, I don't like really addictions. You know what I'm saying? I can vape, and if I feel like I can't go without it and I need it,
Right. Right.
oh no, you got to get up out of here. That Aquarius energy, I'm like, I can't have that attachment.
Yeah.
So those, I just love. I just want to say to the collective, I just love seeing that everyone, these pages I'm coming across with your neurodivergent symptoms, and how the whole world has been experiencing that versus the generation before us. You know what I'm saying? That's all. I think it's the boomers. And I think
Yeah.
that the boomers, I think they're Pluto or Saturn, one of those two in Libra, going into Virgo. So we see where that was coming from, and now we see the nighttime version of that with Pluto and the Scorpio generation. Because if you're into that much of astrology, you know that the sextiles of Scorpio and Virgo is just two halves of the twins that make up Libra. So then you got the latter end of Libra that's like, okay, now we're the SWAT team. Now we gotta go actually boots on the ground about this
Hmm.
justice system.
Yep.
So yeah, that's what dealing with the mental instability and transmuting that energy and making things light out of the dark, versus like we try to see the torch with Pluto and Sagittarius and what they're doing. That just changing meanings and reasons to everything for the philosophies versus dealing with the trauma. So
The
the Pluto and
actual thing.
Scorpio is like, yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna make this look not so, we're pulling the band-aid off of the illusion that the shadow government, just puts in movies about, oh yeah, the utopia is just gonna be like this, or like Dr. Seuss or Willy Wonka, how they make it all like, oh, utopia is gonna be some la la
It's
land.
like this,
It's,
like,
yeah,
yeah.
it's like la la land. It's
It's,
crazy and
you know
stuff.
what it
Pluto and
reminds me
Sag.
of?
What's it
It
remind you?
reminds me of like the Oz, the Wizard of Oz, and then they go, and then they pull the mask, and then they, what the fuck? Like we gave all this
Yeah,
power.
like they make it seem so
We've been letting
chuggy.
something control, think us, make us. It's been us the whole time letting something.
Yeah,
And I was actually thinking about that the other day, talking about the shadow shit, and I was just like, I call it the shadow shit now. I'm like, because I'm like, what am I even giving my power to? Like that in itself was a generational curse that I had to like just completely eradicate. That was the end of it. To the point where when I started thinking about like the cycles and the patterns I show, I was like, just fear in itself of like, is something gonna happen if I break outside of my own world of what everybody's been doing and be that example? That shit was scary for me, but it showed me like that was a curse in itself that a lot of people, this whole conversation is gonna fly over their head if they didn't hit that point in itself of like, you don't got to give power and control like that power to nothing outside of you to control your reality. Like this is
Mhm.
the experience you're creating every single day. Just by being yourself, you naturally show up and do shit that that is what got you here to this point from eons ago. You fighting off certain battles and personal illnesses and things in your family bloodline that you didn't even know was kind of killing y'all. Like it's like working against what you're nurturing, what you're growing, what you're like building on. So I think that's like important to remember, not to give so much power to things that honestly don't run or operate without us in what we're doing, because we are the example for that entity in itself to even know what the fuck to do. So getting off of that point, uh um yeah, because I don't want my page being shadow shit. But
Right.
um respectfully, I wanted to kind of just let us free fall. I expected us to have more people in here, but if y'all are watching, because I see a few people in here, if y'all have a question, drop it. If y'all are confused about what we're talking about, say that. Let us in and let us know how we can help y'all, because I don't want us to leave feel like something was missing. Um, but that was pretty much like everything that I kind of downloaded or had. It was like one other point that I had. I guess it had something to do with life path numbers. I don't know why that's important. And you know what? That actually is important because it's talking about being an example. And a lot of people not knowing astrology, not knowing your life path number, numerology, like certain things, like you already can't do that because it's like you're going to be ignoring like your true natures, like how you truly, your spiritual natures, how you truly show up. So make sure you guys are like not looking past certain shit, and like you hear somebody talking about the moon or you hear everything Moss saying and you just like, oh, they talking astrology. Like why the fuck you think everybody talking astrology? Like get into that. Like it's not just you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It sounds crazy, but once you understand the language, then you can be the example and speak from a place in your own world that it can reach thousands of people, but everybody understood what you're saying. But you can't get there until you figure out who the fuck you are and break that generational curse of not even knowing who the fuck you are. Period. So, um, is there anything you want to add? Because I feel like we kind of said a lot. We don't even really. I don't know. I'm floating here, but I'm like, we could let this go, but we can stay. I do want to say if you want to, your 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 DF come on here and talk to us too. She can come give some tips. Anything you want to drop on us a gem.
Yeah,
Um,
my significant other can come on. She got more like the hot pennies or
oh,
hot grease. It stings. So
yeah.
yeah, we can get her more. Yes, actually more on everyone's level. I think life path keeps coming up because I offer life path readings.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, that was the other question. Damn. I
Yep.
wanted to ask you to tell them. I always ask at the end. Tell them like what you provide, your services, your products. Like, is there anything dropping, coming out? What are they? How do they get in contact with you? How do they get to know more about your work and you as well?
Okay. So I'm gonna trail into that with
Mercury retrograde got me fucked up, bro. Like I'm just like,
I know, like towards the end here, it's like, all right, be over with already. Like I
right,
didn't
like
thought to pay attention to everything, communication all fast. Like, but bruh, you still there? Like,
wait. like Aries, like it's like I saw everybody driving slow the other day, and I was like, at least everybody like slowing down and looking at shit. Like did you miss that? We miss. Oh shit! Like you know, I think
Yeah.
that's important.
I, I offer donation based, but I'm making like $15 price on lives for life path readings. My service I offer life path readings for your sun, moon, and ascendant, how you carry out your actions via your life path number and the journey, and then how you react to certain experiences that you need or desire via that life path, and then your rising, the people, places, and things that you attract, or your personal experiences that you project on to people that they get from your personality via your life path journeys, and how those all correlate and correspond to play out in the different spectrums. And this is just how we all jump into our chakras. I have a Beacons AI account. The link is in my, well, I'm at the new link in my bio. And I'm making a new broadcast channel if you're already in that broadcast channel on
I am.
the, yeah, the new
Yep.
avocado, I forgot what it's called, but it's making a new one, so it's gonna be
The
straight. So follow
avocado
me.
cafe.
Yeah, avocado cafe.
Yep.
Follow me at etheric underscore moss. I went etherical for just the very mystical, the mystical realm of that thing. And also follow me on YouTube, etheric moss, and TikTok, etheric underscore moss. But back to AI alpha services, as far as I have an ebook.
It was. I was just showing them your name so they could follow you.
Oh yeah, but I have an ebook out with that covers the yoga practices, your yoga chakras as they follow the lunar transits of the moon phases as it goes through each sign for what house you have that zodiac sign in, and just what chakra that resonates with, so you can follow your physical anatomy. And I just posted the numerology manifesting cheat sheet book on my
I
AI,
saw that.
on my
Yeah.
weekends, on my AI, the compound numbers for how you manifest with each compound number as it deduces down the line 1 through 9. And those are my services that I offer. I aspire to begin Reiki classes, Reiki level 1 in August, so that I can take that out into the business world and as a certain assist people better in that way. Because it's very much, when you're a spiritual warrior, people think of exorcism or going and cleansing someone's space. When you think of healer, you just really think of it like sage and stuff, but
They don't really.
um, yeah, they show the status of the healer in all the Disney movies, the Tinkerbell and everything, laying hands on, what I'm saying, Avatar. So healers are important. So that's my life purpose calling for me at the moment right now. But you can find me on Instagram and TikTok. I'm beginning to post back more numerology, um, hilarious reels, and
Yeah,
just just those aspects of that with the life path numbers ascendant.
that's dope. So you guys heard all that. I'll make sure I drop all the links in the bio as well. So they just like
Yeah, I'll send those to you.
hmm that's about it, y'all. That was the live. But I kind of like I thought it was interesting just to end off talking about life path numbers. Um
Hmm. I was gonna say watch your head. I was gonna add some more on that, and then watch your head out here. You see everyone getting exposed. I ain't never got speeding tickets for a while. I usually get warnings, but this year I done got 2 speeding tickets back to back. Like you would think it would be favoring the life path 8, but it's not. It's equal opportunity, holding everyone
right,
accountable, and
right.
that's part of it right there too, with everything that's going on for me. Like I'm trying to get to life path 9. They'll get up out of here. Cause I'm like,
Yeah.
so I'm right there. This life path 8 juggling like the spiritual realm, and now spiritually is like the it was like the biggest thing booming for everyone, and then it's like I'm already like trying to deal with balancing, daily life, being the dad, the spiritual journey of that and spirituality, and not over consuming and things of that nature. Like Dolo said, being life path 8 is like it really is like some energy vampire. Because when I commit to
Yeah.
something, I'm going hard in it. I like will drink it dry until I hate it, and that's part of that Virgo ascendant that I got going on. So that's why I
Right.
said being human and stepping back and observing everything that's going on.
Have the balance. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think yeah, like my life path 9 shit, it just is annoying. Like, um, I think that's like a big thing around. I think that's like a big focus for me a lot of times. Like sometimes I be having to. It's kind of like this live. Like I be having to be the example, even when I don't fucking want to be. Like even when it's like it's not even about I have to. Um, it's like beyond the ego. It's like I have to look at things that I'm not even dealing with because if I don't, I might not help somebody do something that could help me. It's so weird. Like life path number 9 is a lot of responsibility, but you don't even realize the responsibilities you have. And then once you become aware of it, it's like you're the teacher, but you're always the student in a weird sense. So it's like it's like a humble effect. Like I always feel exposed in a sense. And then the other day I found out my whole chart was like completely wrong. I think this app called Horos is really great. I'm waiting for Solar Systems to drop their app, but
Yeah.
this app called Horos is really amazing because it lets you pinpoint to where you actually was born. Because I know some people are born in a home, like home births, all types of shit. Like I'm definitely doing that in the future, um, with my future DM, whoever that may be. But I'm just like, man, I found out my whole chart was different. I'm not even an Aqua Rising no more, so I feel like I've been living a lie. Like my whole life feels just different now.
What you look at
Yeah,
you
man.
look at a progress chart, or you just like you found
I
out your
mean,
actual birth time or some type
I
crazy
found
stuff?
out my actual like because I had dreams about it too. Um, like one day I drank, and it was weird. Like it was like um, it was funny because it was like Drake was in the dream. It was like some Netflix scene. It was real Draco's type energy basically, and it's like spirit was showing me my chart to myself and like showing me I'm not what I've been seeing on these apps and these websites, so be mindful of that. And because Solar Systems is the one who put me on to tell me about true houses, that's what I was looking at. And I'm like,
Mm.
damn, my houses is all fucked up. Like yeah, I might be an Aquarius, but truly like I'm a Cap rising. And then I was like, all this shit makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like, damn, like even just certain things I went through, like falling off the mountain, but then like continuously going, like certain things start to make sense to me. But yeah, that life path shit is just weird. I kind of exist in a weird place. Um, feeling like feeling weird, but feeling good, like feeling good exposed. Cause like I just found out I technically have now Scorpio in the 10th house. And I was like, damn, that makes like a lot of sense too for like certain work I do doing Reiki too. Um, healing people, inner child wounds, like just going deep through these transformations. I'm about to do like a sex ed course for like good touch, bad touch.
Good.
You know what I'm saying? For the
Yeah,
kids
we
and
need
stuff
that.
like that. And sometimes it just be weird because it'd be like, as I'm learning, I'm teaching, and um, as I'm teaching, I'm learning, and I just respect the other people I can learn from. Like y'all all teach me. Um, so I think it's kind of interesting, like how every part of a lot of things that like a lot of things that we're seeing every day, whether it's like the tarot, the astral world, La La Land, whatever. Like there's a tool, there's something y'all can like just speaking back to the audience watching in the future and stuff like that. Just know that you guys like there's something here for everyone. Like there's like you don't have to be perfect or you don't have to like know everything. It's just about feeling, especially leading up to this full moon. That's where I will end up. This is right now. Until the full moon, like just focus on if you're still getting comfortable with learning these things that we're talking about, astrology, occult mysticism, stuff like that. Like be comfortable with your spirit, like who you are as just a person, and find the way to show up for yourself the best way, and like be that example to put people on and teach others eventually. But right now, like the best way to become that teacher example is just to like be show up naturally and like how you're supposed to. And then for the people who've been showing up, I got my advice for y'all: like, don't stop because maybe or don't stop because people don't fully get you or your vision. You're not gonna look at a chart and completely understand the chart the first time you read it. Like you have to keep going. It cycles. Let that shit cycle out and like just like the cycles, stuff like that, and patterns. Like let yourself outgrow shit, outgrow certain things. Yeah.
Hi.
Versions of yourself.
Versions of yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was it, y'all.
That's it, y'all. We're gonna go see. We're gonna take a after party mango
Yeah.
trip and see if my honey that's getting ready
Oh, yo. Oh, let's see.
to go out some tea.
About what?
Okay.
Hi.
Hey. Hey.
About
Hey.
what she wants to know and whatever you want to share.
Oh, yeah. Share some.
Say.
We don't care, so figure it out.
I don't have anything to say.
Well, figure it out, Miss Leah.
Let's figure it out,
Yo.
Leo.
Well, what's the topic?
The topic.
She wants to know what the She wants to know
The
what
topic is. Let me say it again. Hold on. Okay.
being the
Why
example.
you try to catch her slipping while she in the? Well, he didn't catch you slipping. You look beautiful, girl.
Nah,
You
yeah,
look
this ain't catch you slipping. That's the Leo Queen putting the crown and the adornment on. You know
He
what I'm
putting the
saying?
crown, the effects on. I love it.
That's the Leo looking in the sun right there. That's that safari.
Facts. Breaking the generational curses and blockages through expression while being the example is the topic. So basically, like realizing, like by being yourself, you're already naturally shedding off all of the generational like curses or habits, like habitual things, thoughts, feelings, like just by being who you are in real time, how you're already.
That is very, very true. When you really think about it, it definitely pertains socially as well. So, like being around family members that are really toxic, if you're just being yourself and really putting that energy towards breaking generational curses, those people that are not with that are not on that path, are naturally just going to fall away.
Right.
Which makes your journey way easier or harder, especially if it's a parent. Because I know a lot of parents are very reluctant to, especially mine, very reluctant to change in that regard. So, and sometimes it's better to just be yourself, far, 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 far away from them. Or sometimes even close if you can't be far away from them, but it's still hard because you still have to to master what kind of boundaries you're going to set within yourself and with them as well. I know I struggle a lot with boundaries, and that's just because I have a lot of love for people and I forgive very, very easily, which is a generational curse that I need to break because my mom is like that too. And it's caused nothing but issues in her life. But whether you choose to stay around those people that might hinder your ability to break those generational curses or not, it's always going to be about boundaries, not just around you, but also within yourself as well. And telling yourself like, hey, it's okay, to be hurt by these people, to be hurt by what's going on, but to also be like able to move on from that. Because, there's that saying, you can't heal in the environment that you got broken in.
You got, you can't heal.
But sometimes you can, sometimes you don't have a choice. Sometimes you have to.
Yeah. Damn, girl. You put us on point. I love the pics. Y'all are so cute and adorable. Y'all be like giving us life because some of us be out here and we like singles and y'all be giving us the motivation. Being that divine force is like very that is an example that I believe is truly beautiful and rare to see in such a toxic ass world that we live in. So keep giving life to each other as y'all been doing and doing what y'all doing right now. You giving us life. Is there anything else you want to add? Because you just spoke like so much facts on top of facts. I don't have nothing to say, to be
honest. No, I think that's it. This is for what we're going to in May, right?
She's a part of it. But
okay. Because I'm like, okay. Yeah, that's all I got to say.
She was referring to the 717 conference.
Yeah.
How we gonna be there? Yeah. So she said we're gonna show up. And also, I have a project that I want to do with you that I was supposed to do with Day B, but the energy was not in alignment with the timeline, so I prefer to do it with you because your inner child wisdom, and it pertains to that because it deals with me and Day B have. Day B is another influencer, spiritual teacher. He provides great content, long-lasting content. You know what I'm saying? It's going to get you full spiritually. But me and Day B, we share this placement where my my daughter is a Gemini, and I'm a Virgo ascendant in Mars. And my mom is a Gemini, and her mother is a Mars and Moon Virgo, and her husband is a Virgo sun. And then
What the fuck?
their parents, my great grandparents, have
Oh, it's worn out. It's going
Virgo in the North Node, both. And Dave B's is reversed. He's a Gemini ascendant, and his mom is a Virgo, and then her dad or mother is a Gemini. So I was on Chat GPT, and so I have more information than to explain right now. But as far as dealing with planetary, like generational curses, but planetary, astrological or esoterical lineages, dealing with like Mercury and or Jupiter, and that.
Oh yeah. Say less. Just
open awareness. So
yeah, tap in with me on that. Yeah.
I'm gonna tap in on that.
Yeah,
but that
guys.
was it.
Any thoughts? Anybody got anything they want to add? Anybody got a question? Otherwise, we're gonna let it go. Speak now.
Get that Uriel. I'm get that Uriel glow.
Yeah, get that glow. Get that Uriel glow.
Get that Uriel thumbnail shot.
Likes.
Right.
Thank you, Balcony Alchemy. All right, you guys. We're gonna leave it there. If you guys need help finding yourself so you can be that example, knowing who the fuck you are, hit him up. Okay. All right. Reach out, get your freaking readings, get your Reiki healing, get your life right. Okay. So follow them. I'm gonna drop everything in the bio, and we out.
Everywhere. Bathroom. There's a service in the bathroom. It's a service in the bathroom.
No, everybody saw my ass.
Maybe not.
Well, now you need to charge then. Everybody send